Chicago Bears head coach Matt Eberflus said on Monday that everything was on the table as far as fixing the offense, and that's resulted in a firing. They have let go of Shane Waldron after just a half a season. He came in, of course, to replace Luke Getsy, who was fired at the end of the 2023 season, and brought in to work with Caleb Williams. And we can start with the nuts and bolts here of how this happened, why it happened, where the Bears are at right now offensively. That Washington game, they really didn't play well offensively the first three quarters. They turned it on at the end. And I thought Caleb Williams showed an incredible ability for a young player to compartmentalize, what was three pretty rough quarters, played really well in the fourth quarter. They come back, they take the lead. Of course, the Hail Mary happens at the end of that game. Since the Hail Mary, the Bears have not scored a touchdown. They've got 4 field goals since then. And if you drill down on the details, it gets even worse. This is the Bears' 17 possessions since halftime of the Arizona game. Punt, turnover on downs, punt, safety, turnover on downs, end of game, punt, 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 field goal, punt, 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 turnover on downs, turnover on downs. So that's 17 possessions, 1 field goal, a bunch of turnovers on downs, the safety. It hasn't looked right. And I think maybe the most alarming thing from Sunday's loss to a pretty mediocre New England team was how the sacks happened. Now, he had 9 sacks. Obviously, a part of that's the offensive line. They lose Tevin Jenkins in game. That does not help. But if you really watch the game, you'll see moments where Caleb Williams is standing in the pocket and the wheels are turning in his head. And so this is obviously a production problem for the Bears. I think they also maybe viewed it to some degree as a development problem with the quarterback. And so they go to reset it. My biggest question coming out of that then would be, what does this fix? And it's the same sort of question I had when the Jets fired Robert Saleh. And if you want to go back to that, the Jets were 2-3 at the time. They hadn't played well, but they were going into a Monday night game against Buffalo for first place in the AFC East. Now that division race is over. And the feeling in the locker room, which I agreed with, was, well, the strength of the team is the defense. You're taking the architect of the defense out of the equation, and you are stretching a good defensive coordinator thin. So not only does that really not fix the problem with the team, it also could create an issue with the strength of the team, which it has. And if anybody watched the Jets play defense in Arizona on Sunday, they saw that. This, I've got a similar question about. Again, what does this exactly fix? Is this action just for action, or is this going to actually address some sort of problem? And I don't think that it really addresses the fundamental issue with the staff. Now, maybe they'll bring somebody in, and that's certainly possible. They could bring somebody in to work with Caleb Williams. But as I talked to people over the last couple of weeks about where Caleb Williams is and where he goes from here, one of the biggest questions that came up was the makeup of the Bears staff and how they didn't have guys on staff with a ton of experience working with a rookie quarterback. That's problematic. Shane Waldron came in. He has a ton of good experience. He was Sean McVay's right-hand man for a while there in Los Angeles. They obviously did a great job resurrecting Jared Goff's career when they got there. He goes to Seattle. He works with Russell Wilson. He helps lead the reclamation project with Geno Smith. Obviously got a couple of great years out of Geno Smith. So he has really good experience working with quarterbacks, but they weren't rookie quarterbacks. They weren't coming from the college game and the type of system that Caleb Williams was coming from at USC and before that Oklahoma, working under Lincoln Riley. And so you didn't have it with the offensive coordinator. The pass game coordinator, Thomas Brown, he has 1 year of experience working with Bryce Young in Carolina, where for most of that year he was not the play caller. And he doesn't have experience working with quarterbacks. And look at what happened with Bryce Young that first year. It was a dumpster fire. Go back and go down another level. Kerry Joseph, the quarterback's coach, he doesn't have a ton of coaching experience, period. So the infrastructure, as far as like having a plan with a rookie quarterback and what to do with a rookie quarterback and having a guy who's gone through the trial and error of working with a rookie quarterback in the past, just didn't exist on the staff. And so, like, I can understand wanting to do something here, but where's the fix? That was the question in New York with the Jets, why I brought that up. Where's the fix with Caleb Williams? and the Bears right now? Where is it going to get better? Again, there's still time to bring in somebody from the outside. They could do that, bring in somebody who's got experience working with a rookie quarterback. But the issues I see with Caleb Williams right now aren't going to be fixed with a different play caller. I think the issues with Caleb Williams right now are systemic. Are you doing enough to create layups for him in the offense? Do you have the schematic infrastructure to meet him halfway? And can you do that on the fly? And help him, utilize some of the strengths that he utilized at USC and again before that at Oklahoma. I just have a lot of big picture questions, and obviously this is going to lead to bigger picture questions about where the Bears are coming out of this, where the Bears will be going into 2025. The team president there, Kevin Warren, arrived over a year ago now. There were rumblings that he wanted to make changes and bring in some of his own people. Last year, obviously, the Bears finished hot, so they wound up sticking with the status quo. But those big picture questions are going to be asked once again.